like this, life feels so simple. Days like this, I feel like driving. Music way up, windows down, I'm vibing. Bracing for impact, but none is in sight. I'm suspended up high in the air, so light. Gray beams of concrete and steel.
Most of the growing up that I did was in West Oakland, which was quite a community at that time. And it's not what you heard, it's what it was. West Oakland was a community, all black folk, Chinese folk, white folk, Latino, Afro-Cuban, Boricua, suffered the same thing. Because of the neighborhood that I grew up at 1431 10th Street, right off of Union, one block north of 7th Street, where the action was. Everybody had jobs. They had houses. They had the biggest clubs downtown. They had places where you could go and enjoy yourself that time. People from the South came out. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, you name it, they all came out here. Now, if you went downtown Oakland, you ain't gonna get no job. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, the reason why you ain't gonna get no job if you was black, because they didn't want you to have one. That did not stop Oakland, in terms of Oakland. The positiveness of Oakland came from the schools and the parents that had the same problem keeping food on the table, a roof on your head, clothes on your back.
You know, people like to bang bang and shoot and stuff, so yeah.
So far this year, 30 people have been killed in Oakland.
You live in Oakland, you already in the danger zone, you feel me? Well, it's pretty frightening, Kenny. I've got to tell you that I've covered a lot of drive-by shootings. Gangs.
They only focus on the negatives of the crime and the murder rate.
This is a notorious kill zone, man. Oakland, California, home to some of the most violent gangs in America. The highest murder rates in the country. Over 300 killed in the last 3 years alone. And the death toll rises as gang members retaliate against each other.
Come together right now over me.
Oakland is a great place. It's very diverse. There's a lot of different communities out here. You are basically in the almost in the center of everything that happens. Goes down. And you know, it has this, you know, my parents always call me like, oh my god, are you okay with Oakland? But it's still home. It's still where I like to be at. So it's been good. That's why I haven't moved back to that still.
And one of the paramedics was actually talking about how it bothered him about how the media portrayed Oakland as a violent place, because as a paramedic, he drives all over Oakland. He goes to all these, these emergency calls, and he realizes that the people who are maybe causing, the violence is a very small percentage of who Oakland is, and where this violence occurs is a very, it's a very small place of what Oakland is. So I think he put it best, where it's kind of like what they focus on is like 5% of what Oakland really is. Here, the communities that live here, they don't portray the diversity, the positive aspects at all. All they focus on is the violent scene that happened that day, which is a very small percentage of, the population of Oakland.
These are places in which people can really apprehend those higher concepts that overflow into our community and create another personality.
I think of Oakland, I think of the city that I love and the city that I want to come back to my whole life. I mean, I might want to live somewhere else at some point, but I'll always be coming back to Oakland in the Bay Area just because I love it here. It's so beautiful here, and just the people here. The people are what make the city, and the people here are great.
Yeah, Oakland is really, there's no city in the whole country quite like Oakland. It's really, not only is it a beautiful city with a lot of natural beauty, but it's got such a rich diversity of people here. So that's one of the things that makes living in Oakland really an exciting place. There's so much going on.
The professional teams that are in Oakland, there's always a lot of concerts going out in Oakland at the Coliseum. And there's always something to do in Oakland. Like, they always got little street fairs going on, public market. They got like 2 of them throughout Oakland during the week. Oakland Landish, hyphy movement.
Freaking hyphiness and shit. It's like the weather out here.
All the artistic aspects, like we just recently watched a film called IOP. So those type of things, being able to go watch films, independent films made by people, you know, who work in Oakland or who live in Oakland. That's what I enjoy most about Oakland.
My favorite part about Oakland is the diversity and how everybody in Oakland, like, I guess you could say, they get along and they're like family.
And people do come together. A lot of good stuff can come out of it, and you know, like the community centers and churches and organizations that really uplift people, that can come out of that.
Of Oakland, it's one that it's the most beautiful city I know, and I've traveled all over the world. It gets a bum rap for a lot of the negatives, a lot of people who are misinformed, who are desperate, who don't have skills, and even worse, don't have self-esteem. But there is so much that is positive to Oakland if people would just get on board and do the hard work. Nothing worth having comes easy. I love Oakland. I hope you do too.